I'm Becky. I today thought I would discuss with you my why. Everybody talks about fitness and health needs a why. So today I'm going to give my why. And it has not been what you would think it would have been. My own health has been up and down for years. But that's not my why. I kept telling myself it was my why before. And my why would get me a couple of months in and I would do fine for those couple of months. But then I would run out of steam. But I have a bigger why now. Actually, a couple of them. Maybe my biggest one is my husband had a stroke about 8 months ago. And he's younger than I am. And we were blessed that he is recovering nicely and has most of his mobility. He still has some nerve damage and actually a little bit of internal damage where his insides are working slower than normal. But luckily it was not extremely severe. He is a uncontrolled diabetic, and even to this day he's uncontrolled. He wants to be controlled, but he also wants a donut. And I get it. I tried to do it for him and nag him into it, but that doesn't work, I'll tell you. It just makes a lot of arguments. But I know he's younger than I am. We live the same lifestyle pretty much. I'm a little more active than he is, and I eat healthier than he does. But we have a lot of the same environmental things. I don't want a stroke. And I want to be able to take care of him if he has another stroke and needs care. When he first come home from the hospital, he was falling down like 7 or 8 times every single day. He would try to get up and go to the bathroom and fall down. I need to be able to take care of him. I got to get myself in shape if I'm going to do that. And the fact that he's younger than I am, well, it's a little concerning too. Plus, I got a notification from my daughter the other day that she lives nearer to more of our family than I do. I've moved to Florida. She's still in the same area that our family is. Most of our family is. We actually have family all over the country, but the majority of them, where my grandparents and my parents grew up, she still lives near there. I got a notification, and we're only going to talk about my first cousins because that's my generation of cousins. And I'm one of the younger of that generation. But I got a notification that one of my first cousins has went on hospice. Now keep in mind that my grandmother had 12 children and every one of her children had several children. So there's a lot of us first cousins, like a lot. More than average by far. But Clark is on hospice. His health is deteriorating he doesn't have long. And not only does it make me sad because, I love my family, but it also is kind of scary because, he's my generation. And I did some thinking about our family, and I was thinking, well, I've had a couple of cousins die when they were 35. One had a heart attack and went to work one day and he worked an office job, and great guy, friendly. Terry was the friendliest man I've ever met in my life. Always the biggest smile, and it was genuine. Well, he went to work one day and didn't come home that afternoon. He passed out at his desk. One of his co-workers called an ambulance, and that was it. I had a couple cousins named Mike, but Mike come home from work one day. He was 35. This was several years ago. He told his wife, Man, I had a rough day today. I'm tired. While you cook dinner, I'm going to take a nap. She went in to wake him up from having dinner, and he had died in his sleep. Didn't know he had any health problems at all. This summer, another cousin of mine named Mike, he had stomach cancer, and he was my closest cousin, probably. We hung out together all of our lives. We had all kinds of fun together. We raised our kids together. He has kids that are the same age as my kids. That shook me up. Then there's been several others. Danny, he died when he was about 40. He had cancer. He had lung cancer. He smoked. Now, I've never smoked. But it's pretty scary. When Michael died this year, we had a celebration of life, and I went to his celebration. And of course, a lot of my first cousins in my generation were there. And some of them looked pretty rough, I have to say. Some of them they're beautiful people. Though some of the women are spectacular. But some of them didn't look as healthy as what I would have liked them to look. That's kind of scary. And I got to thinking about it. I am one of them. And I want to do something before I can't do something. Always before I've thought, well, I have this arthritis, and this arthritis would be better if I, straighten my act up, ate like I'm supposed to, move more. Quality of life would improve. That's a fact. That's a fact. Every single person on this planet, if you're breathing, you need exercise. My sister's first husband was on a ski rescue team. They were looking for someone that had been in an avalanche in Michigan. And he had been at it for hours and hours, and I'm sure he was extremely exhausted. He fell. He was by himself, so no one knows too much of the details, and he broke his back. He wouldn't talk about it very much. It hurt his feelings that had, he was kind of a macho kind of guy. But he was in a wheelchair, and luckily he had one of the mobile wheelchairs where he could move his hand, and it had a thing like a joystick kind of, and he could go all over the place in that wheelchair. Even like to his friend's house and watch TV, and it was great. Those wheelchairs are amazing. But he had to have exercise. Even though he could not move his own legs, he could not, he had very little motion in his arms, and his hands were kind of in a set position. But every day, he had teenage daughters. And if it wasn't a physical therapist day that came into his home and gave him exercise, his daughters, they had a platform in one of the bedrooms, and it had a a big thick exercise mat on top of it. And the girls helped him get onto the exercise mat and moved his legs, moved his arms every day, exercising to keep him healthy. Even somebody paralyzed still needs muscle movement. So there is everyone. If you're breathing, you need exercise, period. So I am a very firm advocate about exercise. Even when I don't practice it myself, I know it's a deal. My sister's older than I am. She's had a lot of health issues and has passed away. And my brother's older. I'm the baby, by far. My sister was 25 years older than I am. So that wasn't as scary, because I could say, well, they're a lot older than I am. But when my generation of cousins that were my age, people I hung out with, did things with, when they started passing away, it's pretty scary. I mean, you grieve because they're people I love, but it starts to make you think about your own mortality a bit, because you think, well, we have the same genetics. We did, we had even the same interests. I can't tell you, when I was a kid, the cousin that I was the closest with, we would go, like, we went to the fair together. We would go to parties, and both of us danced and had, not with each other, mind you, but, danced and had the same interests. And, we would go and we would be in the same group. And then when we got older, like, we would go to each other's houses and sit and play cards till midnight and eat chips and drink soda and, probably had way too many carbs and calories for anybody to think about being healthy. But we enjoyed it. We had fun. We laughed. We were buddies. I kind of got scared. Then my husband had a stroke. Well, that puts really close to home for two reasons. I need to be able to take care of him if something does happen. Plus, I just don't want nothing to happen to me. I don't, if something happens to me, then my kid's got to come in and take care of me, especially if he's down because he's had a stroke. That means I'm putting a huge burden on my children. I don't want to do that. I want to play and have fun with my kids. And that's part of it. I want to be active. I love to hike. Love to hike. That has been one of my all-time favorite things I have ever done in my life. It is not, in the past, it was not unusual for me to, like, get out of church one day. And I did this. I did not tell anybody where I was going. I went to a state park and went on a hike called Bear Waller Hike. It was 6 miles into the wilderness with no gear. I just decided I was going to go for a walk. I had shoes and shorts and stuff in the truck, and I just got in and I just took off. And I loved it. That was a great day. I had a lot of fun. I was starving when I got back. Went to Pizza Hut afterwards. But I had fun. I love to play volleyball. When my kids were growing up, we would, at the end of the evening, there was a place near us. It was called Hidden Hollow. And we got in for $1. And because we were regulars, a lot of times the guy that owned the place would just say, "Oh, don't worry about it. Come on in." Great. His name was Artie Lee. Wonderful man. But he had 2 volleyball courts there, and there was a bunch of regulars, and then sometimes there were people, just strangers would come up and start playing with us, which was great. It was a lot of fun, and we would play hours and hours. Artie would go to bed, and he would announce on the intercom, "Last one leaves, turns the lights off." We just had so much fun. I want to do that again. Maybe not play till midnight, okay? Maybe not play till midnight. But my grandchildren are playing. My grandchildren are, the oldest is 24 and the youngest is 16. And every last one of them are extremely active and love to play softball, basketball. They even coach. The older kids, now that they're out of school and they can't play, they even coach. Our oldest one does substitute teaching, and so that she coaches at the school even. I think she substitute teaches just so she can coach, to be honest, but she loves the kids. It is so much fun to go and watch them. I love to watch, but I'd love to play more. I'm very grateful that they call me and say, "Hey, come watch." I love it. But I also love on weekends when we all get together and play. And I'm still sitting and watching right now. I watch from a picnic bench or whatever. But I want to play with them. My son is 6'4" and a really good player. All the girls play. I have one 16-year-old grandson that if it's a ball involved in it at all, he is on it like Donkey Kong. I mean, he loves to play ball. I would love to. I've never played ball with him. Since he's been born, I have been kind of gimpy. And I want to play ball with him. That's his greatest joy, and I want to share it. I'll never be as good as he is. He's really good. But I want to play. Life is too short not to play. I want to play. I love to be outside, but I also want to do more than just sit on the bench and watch. I have some YouTube creators that I have watched for years, and I do great. I watch them and I listen to them, and I do what they say for 2 or 3 months, maybe 3 months. Maybe I get 3 months in it, but I lose my why after about 3 months. Well, I have some new whys. I don't want to join my other cousins that have passed on. As much as I love them, I don't want to go with them just yet. I need to be able to take care of my husband when his health fails, if it fails again. Hopefully it won't, but if it does, I need to be there for him. And I want to play ball. I want to go hiking. I watched a YouTube video about I think she was 88, and she hiked the Appalachian Trail. The whole trail, not part of it, not a little piece of it, not went for a hike on the Appalachian Trail. From start to finish, she did the whole Appalachian Trail. I'm impressed. When I grow up, I want to be her. I watched that video, I don't know how many times. I want to do it. If I don't do the Appalachian Trail, I want to do some other trail. Although the Appalachian Trail is spectacular. My kids love to camp. I can't get up off the ground. I can't sleep on an air mattress. I can't get up from there. But I want to. I want to go camping. When my kids were little, when my children, not just my grandkids, but when my children were little, we camped so many times every year, just lots and lots, and had so much fun. I want to share that with my grandkids. The YouTube video creators that I watch, and I have watched these for a long time. Dr. Ken Berry and his wife Nisha, they're great. They are very inspiring. Dr. Anthony Chaffee, he's from Australia. He has incredible knowledge. Dr. Ken Berry, actually, his office, before he went almost completely to YouTube, I think he does see some patients still, but when he just did practice, he actually wasn't too far from where I lived at the time. And if I had known about him, I would have loved for him to have been my doctor. I'm so impressed with him. If I'd known he existed back then, I would have made the drive to go see him. Dr. John Bergman. Now, he's a chiropractor from California. And I think he has an office now somewhere in Mexico. He knows the body like you would not believe. Like every joint, every ligament, every muscle, he taught anatomy at a college for a long time. He is phenomenal, and he has such common sense advice about exercise and different. I will mention him when we're doing exercising. I will mention that, where I got that information from. He will be on that list many, many times. Upright Health, I've just started watching. I don't know if he's a chiropractor or what, but he is phenomenal as far as the ability to talk about why you need to be able to do certain activities, how, and Lordy mercy, is that man flexible. He shows you by example. Laura Spath. She was a lady that was a little on the heavy side, and she shows her journey, and she has got a beautiful figure now and is very thin. Now she's a younger woman. She has younger children, but I enjoy it. She shows you cooking videos on like, she'll tell you what she likes to eat and she'll show you how to fix it. She does beautiful job. Steak and butter gal. Now she's also, now she was never like really heavy, but she had some health issues, and she shows you the transformation from before and after, and I love that. And and that's why I'm trying to be as completely transparent as possible now, so that you can see where I'm starting. And even at my gimpy self, if I can do it, anybody can do it. But Steak and Butter Girl, she does, or gal, it's Steak and Butter Gal. She does amazing recipes. And she's a little bit comical, like I would watch her just to watch her, because she's enjoyable to see. She's a lot of fun, big smile. All of these people are very pleasant. And I've also started watching Terry from Homestead How. They were kind of a homesteady channel before, and then he decided to work on his health, and he has went all out trying to help other people work on themselves. He's very inspirational, and he has a wonderful family too, and I like to watch the family. All of these people, bits and pieces of their family, maybe sometimes their kids join, sometimes just the spouses, but they're all they've got wonderful families, and they're just great to watch. They're enjoyable. And I'm still having notes, by the way. I will get where I don't have to, but right now I'm a little nervous when I talk, so I kind of forget what I got to say. And I know nutrition is like 90% of it. Well, maybe not 90, maybe 60, 40. Nutrition is more important than the exercise. And I know that when I get the nutrition right, when I'm eating right, I feel much less pain. I know that fact. That's a fact. That's not even I'll see if that makes me feel better. No, it's a fact. So I know that the better I eat, the easier everything else is. Everything else in life, whether it's just to cook supper, or if it is to walk to the mailbox to get the mail, whatever it is, if I'm eating right, I'm going to feel better. And some of these YouTubers are just mostly about eating right. And that's where I started. I started with eating right. And like I said, when I'm eating right, I feel so much better. And I'm starting this now. And I had not been eating right. I've eat bad, and I am achy, and you're going to see my true self. But we're going to do the best we can. I'm going to eat right, and I'm going to start out exercising. I'm going to start out my kettlebells doing the farmer's carry, and I'll start with 5 pounds. If I can, 5 pounds seems like nothing. And when I was on the farm and I farmed, I carried 5-gallon buckets full of feed and water to animals, and they were way heavier but that's their farmer's carry. That's where it initiated. That's why they call it the farmer carry, because a farmer's always carrying around a 5-gallon bucket full of crap. It's either food, water, or you have just simply cleaned out a pile of crap and putting it in a bucket. You're always carrying around a 5-gallon bucket. That's the most used tool of almost any farmer on the planet. So, and when I did that, my hands, my shoulders, my neck, everything was very strong. My whole upper body, it helped your core, it helped everything. That's where that will be the first exercise I am adding back in, is the farmer's carry, because I have so much respect for it. It takes about, and I've done this enough times, I kind of know, it's going to take about 2 to 3 weeks before my joint pain subsides. It never goes completely away. I'm not even asking for it to go completely away. If it did, that would be awesome, but it never goes completely away. But it does subside considerably, but it takes 2 or 3 weeks. Fasting helps. I don't get up and eat breakfast. I don't have a morning appetite. Never have. Has nothing to do with diet. Has nothing to do with, I just feel yucky in my stomach in the morning a little bit when I try to eat too early. I have no appetite, and I feel like I'm force feeding myself, and that's not a good thing. So I have a natural, smaller eating window. But as far as like going 48 hours or 24 hours with, I can do 24 hours. I could do 24 hours with no food. Just eat a late supper one night. I could do that. But like 48 or 72 hours. Oh, and I watch a homestead channel, Justin Rhodes. I watch him strictly for homesteading, but the other day he's got health issues too, so he was trying to fast. He fasted like 28 days with just water. I'm impressed. That's fascinating. And I watched his fasting videos too, but I don't know that I'm ever going to go 28 days without food. I like food too much. Maybe I would, but I doubt it. For me, a long fast would be a couple of days. Like I said, 24 hours I'm okay with, but 48 hours maybe not. I might get grouchy. I know it would be good for me, but I don't think I'm gonna. It's like people that get in the ice plunge, that get in, they have the little, either a bathtub or I've seen a lot of people buy water troughs for cattle and put ice in it and do an ice plunge. Yeah, no, not me. We went to the ocean yesterday. It's November, nearly December, and it was beautiful. It was warm. It was 75 degrees, a little windy, but not bad. Beautiful day, like perfect temperature. I walked my feet out into the water, ankle deep, and walked my feet right back out of the water because it was cold. It's like, nope, not me. So I'm pretty sure there's not going to be an ice plunge. Although I grew up off the Great Lakes in Michigan. I grew up in the burbs of Detroit. And we used to go to a place called Stony Creek. It was wonderful when we were kids. And in my teenage years, I would drive there with my friends, and we would hang out for the all day Saturday, and we would swim and play. Our lips were blue as could be, every one of us. We didn't even think about that being odd or not normal. Your teeth might chatter, but you were having a blast. Maybe freezing to death, and maybe that was good for us, I don't know. But now I'm not going in no cold water. I want a hot shower, and I want to swim in a heated pool. Not going to do a polar plunge. Those of you that do, I think that's phenomenal, and more power to you, and I hope it does wonders for your health, but I'm not going to do it. Now I might sit in a sauna. We had a sauna for a while, and to be honest, I didn't sit in a sauna because I ran a mail route, and at that time I had what they call an LLV, which is a government, it stands for long life vehicle. It was the postal little truck with the little white truck with the eagle on it. I like to cook in that truck. They didn't have air conditioning, and they didn't have insulation in the floorboard between you and the motor, so it got super hot. And I figured that was my sauna. My next video is going to be, we're going for a walk. So get your tennis shoes, and let's see what we can do walking, and see what techniques that I have done in the past and learned from some of these very good people. One of the doctors I just started watching, he believes in sprinting, not running. He used to be a runner, but he says that's not, sprinting is much healthier than running. I'm going to show you my version of a sprint. Be prepared to laugh, but come along and sprint with me. We'll see you next time. Bye.